Hey,
Kieran Lagabiru to you, Paul.
and a Kieran Lagabiru, Adam.
Opening this week, Top Gun Maverick.
Yes, that only took 36 years, so that means in 2058 we'll have Top Gun Wolfman.
And don't forget, everyone, Top Gun Maverick is brought to you by Applebee's.
It's hilarious.
No, I'm actually not kidding.
What?
Tower, this is Ghost Rider, requesting flyby.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is false.
Maverick. Having any fun yet?
That's amazing. But I think we both know Tom Cruise has never been to an Applebee's.
I understood that reference. It's Monday Movie Nonsense.
Oh, Scientology at work with that volleyball spike.
I love it. I love it. The volleyball spike's back. Everything's back. Everything's back. It's all back, Paul. This is the theme of this summer. It's movies are back. We're back. And but hey, before I get to that, some people are watching right now going, "What in the hell's going on?" Well, this is Monday Movie Nonsense. Welcome.
I'm wondering that, and I'm on screen.
Sometimes we just go. Today we're just going to go. This is a grab bag show.
Yes.
But a new show happens every Monday, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. If you've seen our videos, attended our live shows, or watched us in the Movie Trivia Schmodown, then you know Paul and I are all about the nonsense. But we're also all about movies. And, they don't stop making movies. So every week we're going to bring you a show. We're going to talk about the trailers that are out there. We're going to talk about the movies we saw. A lot of them today. We're going to talk about that. Be sure to know when this is happening. Yeah, we do it on a regular schedule, but like and subscribe, send it to your friends. Say, hey, remember how nobody liked movies as much as we do? I just found these two guys. They love movies, and they remember a time when it was hard to find friends who love movies. So thank you all for watching and being our friends
also,
who love movies.
Yeah, and tell your friends, we're the only two people out there doing this, as far as they know. So,
I mean, what are you going to do?
They have to tune in to us. We're the only two people talking about movies on the internet.
Where are you going to find two white men on the internet who are willing to talk about Star Wars? Good luck. I'm just saying, you're already here. Just stick around.
Let me guess, Adam. On the internet?
We all live in the age of information. Every trace of our existence is computerized. Everything about us is encoded somewhere on a complex network of information.
Computers your life, aren't they?
Yes. Perfect hiding place.
I love the electronic bass that pops in. It was like, everything's computerized.
Let's get Larry Graham, quick.
So, Paul, so search the net. We come right up. That's basically what I'm getting to there. If you want to find out more about us, we got the movieguys.net. We got all that stuff. But, we probably got some regular viewers here, so you guys know all that stuff. But we got a big week here, Paul, coming up.
Let's go over some news.
Yeah, let's go over some news.
It's been a lot of news.
All right. Paul, here's the news.
Yes.
The Supreme Court has voted to strike down the landmark Roe versus Wade decision. According to an initial draft, a majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito, circulated inside the court and obtained by Politico. The draft opinion is unflinching repudiation of the 1973 decision, which guaranteed federal constitutional protections of abortion rights, and a subsequent 1992 decision, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, that largely maintained the right. Roe was egregiously wrong from the start, Alito writes. Oof.
I guess I was thinking movie news, but
I guess so too. I must have dropped the real news in here, but
you did.
Things can get so depressing, Paul. I think I can bring this back around. This is why more than ever we need Top Gun Maverick. I need happiness with all this news out there, Paul. I need a pure hit of happiness.
No turning back now.
Having any fun yet?
Can you imagine that in IMAX, dude? That
I feel
plane
better,
shots.
though.
And they must have shot those in IMAX. They're insane. The makers of these movies, right?
Yeah, and having recently seen Top Gun to get ready for this on a plane, I enjoyed it so much more than 36 years ago. And
I was never that big a fan back in the day.
But
I was
you
never
were not
that big a fan back in the day.
Same
No.
here. Same here. I thought it was okay. It
was like-
seemed like one of the lesser efforts for Cruise along the lines of Days of Thunder and Cocktail, whereas this may be something I've already said on here, but the Prestige efforts seem more like Color of Money, Born on the 4th of July, Rain Man, and so this seemed like a lesser effort. But I have to admit, the plane fights were pretty impressive then. I can only imagine now. Long story short, I can only imagine now they're going to be eye-popping. Well, I feel better. I think I can go on with the news.
Okay, all right. So the next, a gunman wearing military-style clothing and body armor opened fire with a rifle at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, killing 10 people in a shooting officials are investigating as a racially motivated hate crime. The alleged gunman, who live-streamed the attack online, was arraigned on a first-degree murder charge hours after he was taken into custody, law enforcement officials said. Ooh, took him in without beating him up, didn't they? Paul, again, it's just you wake up, you hear all this depressing stuff, but I think Tom Cruise can take us out of this. Let's just watch another clip. How about that?
Please.
Tower, this is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
No, ma'am. This is not a good idea.
Sorry, Goose, but it's time to buzz the tower.
Goddamn son of a bitch.
Oh, I feel better. Do you feel better?
Well, I mean, I feel bad for that guy.
Oh, yeah, sure. Of course.
Who gave a great mid-1980s. Goddamn son of a bitch.
Goddamn son of a bitch.
But I feel better. Absolutely.
Whew, thank God. Thank God for Top Gun. Thank God for Tom Cruise. Whatever God he worships. So thank God for all that. I mean,
but go on.
Xenu, yes. Okay. Anyway, so let's just wrap up the news here again. And
okay. People come to us for the news, so I'm glad you're doing it. Thank you for doing this, Ellen.
What movie is that from? Our crowd knows. The Supreme Court said Monday that state prisoners may not present new evidence in federal court in support of a claim that their post-conviction counsel or state court was ineffective in violation of the Constitution. The ruling is a major defeat for two inmates on death row who said they had compelling claims that their state lawyers failed to pursue. In addition, it will make harder for inmates across the country to prevail on claims that they received ineffective counsel at the state court level in post-conviction proceedings. Gee, I wonder if this falls on the poorer of our citizens here, as decided by some of our richer citizens. Sorry, Paul, the real news, I step outside the movies, everything just gets so depressing. Thank God for the movies. Paul, you want to watch another Top Gun clip?
Yes.
Here we go.
I got invested, actually. I was like watching that, not just waiting for the bit to go by.
Tony Scott directs volleyball. God, he could direct anything. God, that's so good.
Oh, God, no.
No.
No, we're depressed.
Now, we were just saying how, we were just showing, giving a visual example of how you can go to the news and luckily movies are still there to pull you out of this funk. And every movie is a family reunion now. Top Gun's a family reunion. Spider-Man's a family reunion. Jurassic Park's a family reunion. It's just, it's really a wonderful time.
Adam, are you still depressed, though? Because I have another way to perhaps cheer up your depression.
Paul, that's all the Top Gun clips I have.
Well, no doubt, timed with the release of Top Gun Maverick. Today, a trailer came out for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and they didn't pull a Dune on us. They led with this is part 1 of a 2-part finale to the entire Mission Impossible 27-year thing they're doing. And
who's this one directed by?
It's a fair question. I'm going to assume McQuarrie.
But then he also directed... Oh, that's right. Top Gun. He directed that years ago.
No,
right?
That's Joseph Kosinski.
Oh, that's not Kosinski.
Directed Oblivion, yes.
Oh, and Tron 2?
Part 1 of this is McQuarrie, yeah. So.
Oh, McQuarrie, okay, right. Oh, he didn't do Top Gun. Well, his hands feel all over it. Of course, Tom Cruise's do too, like flying the actual planes and...
Yeah, Chip and Dale's
Chip and Dale's a reunion?
There's a lot of reasons to feel good today, so let's feel good with this. I'll show you a little bit of... You'd feel great if I showed you a clip from Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Wouldn't you, Adam?
I feel pretty excited that there is another Mission Impossible, and when I hear that these things are being made, I cannot prove it until I see a trailer, and then sometimes I don't even believe it then. But this is very exciting. I've not seen this trailer, and I'm so excited there's another Mission Impossible directed by
well, so as not to get yanked by YouTube for showing something, even though clearly, as we've shown in the first 18 minutes of the show, we're a news organization. To show a trailer would simply be to pass the news on to the public. But I'll keep it brief anyway. And I'll let you know at the top, basically someone says, your days as a spy are over, or something like the past is, you're just out of touch or whatever. And then it's a montage.
You're a dinosaur. Yes, you're not going to have any action sequences by the end of this movie, I'll tell you that, you old man. Yeah.
In his face, because this happens.
That is quite the tease. Is this how the trailer goes, or is this a teaser?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want more?
Oh, they got the editor of the opening montage of each Mission Impossible movie to do the trailer finally. That breakneck, cover everything that's going to happen in the movie. They probably just like take the titles off of the opening credits and we'll run that as the trailer is what this looks like. Wow. I'm intrigued.
How are the Reds doing? How are the Reds doing, Adam? The Cincinnati Reds.
Man. The Reds lost a no-hitter.
I know.
They threw a no-hitter and they lost that game. They packed the bases and walked a guy in is how they lost that game. They are the worst team in baseball. Coming up on worst team in baseball history.
Yeah. So you're pretty depressed then?
Yeah, that's not good. Oh my God.
That's all they can pack into a trailer, right? That's they can't possibly pack any more intense action sequences into this trailer.
No, they can't. Now they even revised one. They got a train sequence in there and everything. Oh my God.
Yeah. Then clearly the trailer is done.
That's got Wow. That's some real James Bond stuff there, man. Jumping off the cliff with the parachute. Oh.
Exactly. Well, we assume he's got a parachute.
Well, yeah, it's true. And it opens into the American flag.
If there's going to be a part 2, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He probably doesn't die in this one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so exciting, Paul.
So there's a whole trailer to see, but it's basically that. It's a quick setup where you don't see him until the guy doing the opening monologue about his days are past and everything's passing him by. They cut the Cruise going, and then action, title. It's great. It's great.
It's awesome.
He's the best. He's the best.
He's the best
movie star. We got going. See everything he does.
He makes me so happy, and that is like half the stuff that makes me happy that we have to talk about this week. And it's Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick. There's a new Mission Impossible coming out. That's just
yeah.
Tom Cruise. Oh no! You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Show me the money.
And of course, Top Gun Maverick comes out when Cruise turns 61. Garth said, "Oops, 60." That's true, but still. I mean,
60.
Did you see him jumping around doing all that shit? He is the GOAT, no question. If you ask me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Harrison Ford's probably the GOAT, but Cruise might be the best doing it today. I mean, have you seen Rick Rossovich, who plays Slider lately?
Is he in this new one?
I'm not sure, but here he is. I mean, Cruise clearly has some pact with Xenu going on. That Rick's still acting.
That's Rick Rossovich,
but he looks 60. Cruise looks just otherworldly.
That's Rick Rossovich in the Top Gun volleyball scene, right? Isn't that who he's playing?
Yeah, he's Slider.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, I guess.
Trivia question: which one has their shirt on?
Goose.
Goose.
That
was such a big deal to that song, that soundtrack. I mean, Top Gun was. It was I call things this a lot, but it was a machine gun that fires only pop culture bullets.
That's good. I like that.
And Tom Cruise wasn't always going to be around. He was that guy from a couple movies as of Top Gun, right? I mean, it wasn't like, oh, this guy's a star forever. But like Top Gun was huge.
He was Risky Business, which was a sort of, I don't know, it felt like
it could have ended up in R.E. Gross at that point. You're like, okay, he's in one of these good movies, right?
Yeah, but he kind of felt like an adult version of the sort of teen movies that were out at the time.
There was something different about it.
But we didn't know his machismo would be quite on display until Top Gun, I think.
Yeah.
And it became like the man, the best pilot, the best pool player, the best bartender, the best Vietnam vet, the best race car driver, the best lawyer, the best, just went from there. So
he's the best of the best.
Tom Cruise! Oh no! You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Show me the money.
A bear's driving.
How can that be? Oh my gosh. So exciting. So Paul, in 24 years ago, we had a summer where we saw every summer movie on opening day, right?
We were supposed to do that again. It was 25, I believe, but we failed so far with You're Out of Town Time, and then last week being Firestarter. I mean, why would we do this?
Well, true, but I do have to say, the summer didn't start until Memorial Day, I don't think, 24 years ago.
You're probably right.
I have a feeling The Lost World, which was the first movie that you and I saw together, it's probably going to be the Friday of Memorial Day weekend would be my assumption 24 years ago. And that's where we started our pact. So we could still probably start our pact to try and see every...
With Maverick and go from there. Okay, yeah. So we don't have to do Downton Abbey, A New Era?
Is that a summer movie?
Let's see, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think we can start with this one and be perfectly safe. And there's a Jurassic Park movie this summer, so to mimic the summer of 97 more perfectly. And the Con Air was that summer, and now we have... I don't know what I'm...
Plane movie. We got a
plane movie. Ain't nothing plain about these movies.
All right, so in real news, not depressing news.
No.
Did you ever watch this show? But of course, we got the Bob's Burgers movie in the interest of counter programming. I've never seen the show.
Oh,
so
you're missing out.
Yeah, it's super funny. There's too much
really,
TV.
Yeah, there's too much TV. That's the thing. Yeah, and I watched this largely because Victoria loved Bob's Burgers, turned me on to Bob's Burgers. I just, at one time there was like one prestige animated TV show at a time. Then once that got canceled, then another one would come along, or there couldn't be a Simpsons and something else at one time.
kind of the problem is that The Simpsons and South Park never went away, so those are just still the ones I watch.
Yeah.
I haven't picked this up. I haven't picked up American Dad or whatever the heck
This
else
is on
out
season 12. This is a great background show, Paul. If you're, like we've commented on some things aren't background, but you could put this on and the voices, you don't need to see everything. But it's like, it's just so well, the voices they chose, John Benjamin, some of the other cast whose names I don't remember, but Kristen Schaal, and what's his face, the comedian who plays the sloppy little boy. Can't think of his name right now, the Russian comedian. But
Yakov Smirnoff.
It's not Yakov Smirnoff.
It's not Yakov Smirnoff?
There's a second. There was only one Russian comedian at a time back in the day, but
until one was canceled and the other one came.
but it covers great family dynamics that you've never seen anyone cover before. So that's sort of like the way that Simpsons gave you that sort of like more modern family vibe, or Roseanne at the time, or whatever. Like this one, like the types of kids, the like lovesick daughter who's just after all the boys, the troublemaker daughter, the messy boy kid who's always like composing albums on his little keyboard and stuff like that. It's just like the hapless father in the middle of all this crazy family, and he's crazy in his own ways too. And there's a really great supporting character who, after watching about 12 seasons of this thing, I've pretty much seen all these. Teddy became my favorite character. You could take anything Teddy does and say it in your head in Bill Murray's voice from Caddyshack. And I feel like they've really kind of mimicked who Teddy is as sort of a more out in society Carl Spackler. After a while, I was just like, I think everything Teddy does is something Carl Spackler would do if he lived in the city or whatever, But this is a great graduation for some of these animated shows too, when you finally get your movie, There's a Simpsons movie, took 15 years to get to or whatever. And now Bob's Burgers the movie.
And South Park's crazy because that took about 13 years to get to, and I thought, well, that show peaked, and it maintained. That show still.
It's amazing.
Hilarious. But that movie is one of the best musicals ever made.
And that movie was like what, season 5 of theirs or something like that. It was back then.
Oh, it's Eugene Merman.
Eugene Merman.
He's hilarious. I love him.
Right. He's the Russian. He's the risky.
But routinely by Neil deGrasse Tyson's side on Star Talk, which is very funny on that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's great. But what's so great is that these animated voices were just completely overlooked. Like Eugene Merman's great voice. Kristen Schall's a great voice. John Benjamin, great voice. And so like they just weren't on anything when this show started. And it was just so genius. Like, oh, of course, all these voices. And the other two voices, the mom and the other daughter too, are really funny as well. But I don't know who they are.
A treatise on the Bob's Burgers movie I was not expecting, Adam. So I'm glad you brought the knowledge, because I don't have any on this, but I'm all for it, and I'm all for counter programming. But I don't know, can I? I mean, they probably designed it so I could jump in and watch this without seeing the show. But
yeah, it's just the things they do in it that are like very typical of the character. They're going to be launching into that at the beginning, like, oh, that's a very Louise thing to say, or that's a very, whatever thing to say. But you'll catch on to that immediately. This is the tone, these are the characters. They're going to deliver that because everything they do is 100% stuff their characters would do. That's what's so fun about this crew. So yeah, I would just go see it. You're a movie guy, not a TV guy. I think the ultimate statement is to go, well, now I can finally check out Bob's Burgers. It's a very Paul move, right?
Yeah, you're right. And William Harold agrees with me. The South Park film was one of the fantastic films of 1999. Speaking of things from 1999.
What a year, huh?
Speaking of things from 1999, Adam, I'm going to go on mute and let you have your moment.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Paul, I have clips. Okay, fine. Let me just say this. I'm freaking out. This was never going to happen. Look at that poster. This is just never, ever, ever go. We were all, I often tell the story that after 1983, we were all, well, maybe 84, 85, there was always rumors that they might make another Star Wars movie. But definitely as of 86, 87, I'm growing up, they're just simply never going to make a Star Wars movie again. I now live in a world in which there will never, ever be another Star Wars movie. And then eventually Batman comes along. I realize, well, there's more to film than Star Wars, and I become a film fan. All along knowing they are just simply never going to make another Star Wars movie, which was what was insane about 1999. Great cinema year in general. But that they made another Star Wars movie, and some people liked it, some people didn't. Actually, no. Everyone vehemently hated that movie. It's often lost in the conversation that somehow something being made today is now hated by the fans. But, well, we all always loved Phantom Menace. That movie was
That's right.
absolutely hated and declared to be this, like, terrible movie. I mean, it might not be for you. Jar Jar may not be your sense of humor or whatever, but, like, as I always say, this is why almost all movies are good. There are only 5 bad movies, and one is a name I won't mention, right? But, there aren't that many bad movies because, and people say, oh, the script's terrible or whatever. Well, lucky for us, movies are more than one thing. If movies weren't more than one thing, we wouldn't be as interested in movies. If movies were just writing, we'd call them books, and there would simply be nothing to go see at the multiplex. But obviously, there's just a ton going on. You go back and watch those movies today. I had to study for a Star Wars match recently, and I'm sitting there watching Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, these very maligned movies at the time, but you're like, that is more production design than any movie on either 10 years of that movie tried to do. Like, it's just insane what happens in those movies. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, we were lucky enough to get him cast as Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was one of the wonderful things about those prequels was Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, Paul, I can speak as a 5-6-year-old kid or 7-year-old kid. Whenever I saw Star Wars, I could give 2 shits about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, it was all about Han Solo and Chewbacca and Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, Luke, Leia, but that other guy. So to have this, I mean, and to bring back everyone. Uncle Owen is back. Aunt Beru is back. And all these like new Imperials, and we have for our lifetime imagined that era that was never told before, up until now, still hasn't been, when Obi-Wan camped out on Tatooine, making sure Luke was safe. You're like, what happened during that time, And I always wanted to see Obi-Wan Kenobi as the fugitive, right? Going from town to town, helping innocent people, all this. I'm hoping all that's in here. But my goodness. Well, here's a clip. I mean, I just can't even believe this exists in any form. This is insane, Paul. This is. I feel like I should read another depressing story before this because this is the cure right here.
I want every lowlife and bounty hunter to squeeze him. You can't run, Obi-Wan! You can't escape him!
And Darth Vader, I mean, come on. I just wouldn't have even expected, they're just not even going to go there. The Darth Vader thing, that is, they're just going to have him on adventure stuff. No, they're bringing back Darth Vader,
How much
dude.
Darth Vader can you have in this if apparently they're reuniting in Episode 4 is to be a big deal?
Well, it's still going to be a big deal. That's the final showdown at that point, But the chances of them never meeting in the, 13 years between, those two movies... Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
That's 13 years that can't be calendar years.
No, it's 13 in canon, I believe.
He ages pretty substantially, I guess.
He's older than Alec Guinness in this show, I believe, right? Isn't he Alec Guinness's age from episode 4?
I don't know. You know why I don't know? I mean, I don't know. Because who can tell?
Rick Rossovich, he's the guy that gets beat up by the Terminator in when he's having sex with Ginger when Sarah's out. Isn't that him?
That is correct.
It is him, yeah.
He had a hell of an 80s. Of course, Roxanne as well. He played the dumb guy who couldn't profess his love until Steve Martin had to do it for him, and then all hell broke loose.
And Mark Hamill is Alec Guinness's age. 19 years in between him? Yeah. Oh, no, I agree with you. Need to sit down for a while. Yeah, no, it's just insane. Okay, and here, so I've made, every time they put out one of these new shows, I will make as a joke either on this show or I was on the Cinefanatics doing the Bad Batch. When are we getting Forlom? You know what I'm saying? When are we getting Forlom, all right? You see all the bounty hunters, right? All right, IG-88's never come back. We got IG-11. In Mandalorian.
And he was at the top of the trailer for LOM, right? He was at the top of that trailer. Yeah,
the top of that clip I played. So I got it frozen here. Yeah, Forlom is back.
I want every lowlife and bounty hunter to squeeze him.
I love he's back and like didn't do anything previously, so thank God he's back, so we can do something cool. We can see because I mean, once you see IG-88 skills, you're like, or that droid's type of skill, it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, that's the cool thing about the bounty hunters. That's why that captured every children's imagination. Is every one of those guys looks like they have, I could guess, 20 years of backstory just looking at them. Like each one of them, you're like, there's one's a robot. There's one guy with like bandages all over him wearing like random battle droid armor. You know, then there's Boba Fett with like every dent seems to tell a story on him. And he's the only one that gets a little backstory. He says no disintegrations, as though that's been a problem in the past. You know, and then Bosk, which I think we've seen him.
We've seen Bosks in The Mandalorian.
We've seen Bosks, and we saw the actual Bosk in the Clone Wars, I believe. Oh, okay. But yeah, but Forlom and Zuckuss, two great words, taste great together. Forlom and Zuckuss, they've never gotten much of a play. So yeah, this is awesome. And he's being hunted by bounty hunters. Forlom has been sent to get Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're trying to kill the last of the Jedi. What a setting. Oh, and this, Paul. What's my favorite thing in any movie?
You like 4 of them.
That's the thing I do like. I'll watch anything there's 4 of.
Oh, when it goes to space. Oh, this started in space.
No. Okay, like I love that too.
Go ahead.
Here's something you recognize, though. The best of the best.
Oh, of course.
But he's done. He's out of the life.
He's
gone into hiding until someone realizes until someone messes with him and they're messing with the wrong guy. And then he's got to pull that lightsaber out, probably in episode 6. Everyone's like, ooh, is he going to pull it out in episode 1? No. 2? No. 3? No. 4? Maybe. 5? Maybe. 6 for sure. But that build up to that of like, when's he going to pull that lightsaber out? Ooh, I'm so excited. It's going to be the greatest moment. It's going to be a Luke Skywalker entering to save Grogu moment when he pulls that lightsaber out. He's going to fight Darth Vader. And Hayden Christensen is back. No, I never saw any of this happening. This is insane.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, in more sad news, Colin Cantwell passed away. Your designer of the X-Wing and designer of the Death Star.
Wow.
He was in his 80s and worth an RIP because, those are iconic.
Oh my
images.
God, right? I mean, the characters they bring back in these Star Wars movies now are as much as any actual physical actor is the sound effects, the X-Wing design or some sort of modification of it, or the TIE Fighter design, or, I mean, a new type of Death Star, Colin Cantwell. Wow. And look at the original X-Wing behind him. That's the original drawing there. A full-on X,
And now I'm sad.
Oh, thank God.
It's like he's gone.
Cruz! Oh, no! You want the truth? You can't handle the truth! Show me the money!
I think that's how Colin Cantwell would be remembered.
Yeah. Now, in the interest of best of the best.
Best of the best.
Out. Coming back.
Out of the life!
Gotta come back. There's a new... moving on to trailers real quick.
Yeah.
We've got...
what's new in trailers this
TV
week,
show.
Paul?
We're talking about TV shows now in here because, TV's quality is caught up to movies.
Movies divided in 6.
Yeah, and so this one's a long time coming with Jeff Bridges called The Old Man on FX. And he has...
Let me guess how he talks.
Like this.
I mean, at least it's called The Old Man this time.
Yeah.
Say hello there.
Yeah. This you could goof on R.I.P.D., but this looks pretty badass. It is.
I'll watch anything.
Yeah. It got postponed because of COVID. Then it got postponed because Jeff Bridges had a cancer diagnosis.
Ooh.
The latest of which said he's in remission, feels great, and he's thrilled that this is finally coming out. Just a little taste of it from the trailer.
Somebody's got to keep an eye on the world the way he does, or the game the way he does.
What I'm built for.
defending things. You need to defending. All the best things I've done in my life have been in service of that.
Ooh.
Jeff Bridges going full John Wick.
Wow.
And Protector and Jack Reacher, a little bit of all that kind of action stuff at 72. That's great.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, it's about time though that he did. I mean, Eastwood's like 105, and he's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass." Like,
he's punching 20-year-olds.
Yeah. It's like this. I'll buy into this, and I love heroism. Heroism, my favorite thing, man. What did he say in there? Protect the innocent. You know, protect
those
the weak.
who need protecting. It's his life mission. But don't you need? And it opens up with you need him out there. You know, looking over everything.
Oh.
I love that.
Oh,
all that stuff is awesome.
I love all that stuff. That is my favorite stuff. It doesn't have to be superheroes. It's just the fact that it's baked into the superhero formula. Well, at least it better be. You better go save somebody. You know, I don't know if anybody gets saved in Superman versus Batman, but at least the Marvel ones people get saved. Wow.
Now, in the other world of trailers, 3,000 Years of Longing came out.
This I don't know.
This is the new George Miller movie.
Oh.
And I've...
This is in theaters now, or is this a new trailer?
It's a trailer. Just came out. I think it played to big applause at Cannes.
Okay.
And I've taken 3 montage sections of the trailer and put them together.
Okay.
Because you don't need much. You and I don't need much more than George Miller, and we're going.
Well, George Miller, I mean, the guy directed Happy Feet. I mean, it's like he really literally could go anywhere. He perfected a formula he started in the 80s very recently, which is amazing. And I just wonder if will he keep that pace up.
Well, this is from Babe Pig in the City director George Miller.
Right.
Make a wish! Save yourself!
That man knows how to cash a blank check. Wow. What is... Oh, all right.
You're in, right?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And you see Idris Elba, Tilda Swinton lead that film, acting-wise. Looks like he plays a genie. She gets 3 wishes. Chaos ensues.
Okay. Oh, my God. Wow. Very interesting. That was cool. God, what a visual stylist, man. And has never been known for it until Fury Road. I mean, kind of. You know, not the way other visual stylists like David Lynch are known for it. He was known as like, oh, he's an action guy or whatever, but like...
Yeah, but look at Babe. I goofed on Babe Pig in the City, but look at it. Look at Witches of Eastwick. Look at, these things he's made that are, I mean, of course, the previous Mad Max films. I mean, he's a unique guy, and this looks like a unique story. Put the two together, and it's going to be something crazy, so I'm looking forward to it. But you know what was weird about it? It did have one of those, we've goofed on this before in conversation, but haven't addressed it here. You know, they have a little trailer to tell you the trailer's coming up.
Okay.
Right? Like, official trailer. Then it shows you the trailer.
Okay.
I get that if I'm scrolling through Facebook and over on the side, that little GIF of like 5-second thing is rolling. Oh, I click on that, I can go watch the whole trailer. But to tell me, watch the official trailer now, when I'm watching the official trailer...
Right before the official trailer starts, yeah.
Yeah, I think I can give you a clip of what that looks like. Is it? Did I have it here?
That's like dual purpose on the marketing team. They're like, same video for Facebook and YouTube? Yeah. You know, but Facebook, it makes sense because it's a little, you know, they sort of get your attention.
Yeah, let me just double check that I got all the videos here I need.
Well, while you check on that.
You know your tarte bleu beurre sauvage? Of course I do. It's my signature dessert. Well, a customer of mine just called it a pie. Did anybody else hear? I don't think so.
Tori, Rory, what's all the commotion?
Tori, go on. Dory is family. Well, a customer of mine just ordered the tarte bleu beurre sauvage and then called it a pie.
What does she think this is? Fucking golden griddle?
Dory, Tori, Rory, are you talking about the woman who called the tarte de bleu beurre sauvage a pie?
How did you hear?
Well, all the busboys are talking about it. Ramon is so upset he's thinking of moving back to Nicaragua.
But isn't he from North Bay?
Yes, that's how upset he is.
Guess who else is back? Family reunion time in pop culture. Yeah. Not a movie also, but God, legends.
Yeah, but I love how I only watched the opening of that, but I will get back to watch more of Kids in the Hall if you didn't know that was Kids in the Hall.
That was Kids in the Hall.
But they immediately address the failing of Brain Candy, which is a shame because Brain Candy is some kind of movie.
Some kind of movie, man.
But yeah, it was hilarious how they just screw it. It just made its money back or something.
Right? Yeah, they sell it at a lawn sale, and someone gives a $1. He's like, "How much for this?" $1, and he's like, and then as soon as he pays that $1, it has now turned a profit, and the Kids in the Hall can be dug up from their burial spite. Yeah,
Hey, let me see this. It's so when it plays as an ad before another YouTube video to get people interested before they can click the skip ad button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then why have it on the actual video itself that I've already clicked on? Because clearly I want to see the trailer for 3,000 Years of Longing.
Well, also I think, like I was saying, that that's meant for the skip ad button when this clip you're playing plays before another trailer.
Right.
But the social media team is just like, yeah, just put that same thing on YouTube, But obviously for the skip ad thing playing on something else, but it's the same thing. They're just like, hey, let's put that on YouTube.
Yeah,
also. They just didn't make a different version.
It's just silly because then what really you could have is a trailer. Like I call that a trailer, right?
A trailer for
a trailer.
A trailer for a preview of a trailer.
It's a trailer. Right? So there's the official trailer, I guess. So if you were to put a trailer in front of that trailer,
right? Well, how else would I know that the preview for the trailer is coming up?
Exactly. But then, of course, you could do a trailer for the trailer's trailer.
True. All right, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready.
Well,
now
I don't have the whole trailer here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you don't have the whole thing? Okay.
You're a hero.
No, I'm just a waiter with heroic tendencies.
I can't wait to watch that. Is there any weirder actor than Bruce McCulloch?
Oh, it's so good.
But here is where it kind of, I'll play one more clip. I don't know if you saw the trailer for a movie called Vengeance, just came out, written and directed by BJ.
No, you were my source for trailers today. I had no idea any of these came out. I've been hiding.
Just watching it. It looks super funny. It's about a guy who gets roped into a family remembrance for a woman who died, who I guess conflated her relationship to him, to her family. So they're like, you're the one she's gone on about. He's like, I slept with her like twice. I mean, we hooked up or something, so he's kind of stuck in this situation. But then it turns out she may have been murdered. So now he's also going to look into her murder and maybe make a podcast out of it. So it's a whole big crazy thing, and it's all in Texas. So it looks really fun. You got Boyd Holbrook, Ashton Kutcher, and a bunch of other actors.
Well, more movies should be called Vengeance because so many movies are about vengeance, but very few are called Vengeance.
Yeah, and this one's like funny.
Really?
Yeah, it's super funny. But it's interesting that the trailer starts out and leads into the trailer with a scene that was just in the trailer.
Oh, that's kind of smart.
I have a story.
Welcome to Texas.
I have a story.
Okay.
It's weird. Yeah.
Blumhouse Productions, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
like
hopefully
that.
It just means it's
Hey, BJ Novak. There's a guy nobody's putting in movies.
They should. Yeah, I mean,
right.
He started taking over The Office towards the end there, writing and directing and doing all sorts of stuff. So he's really good.
That's what I kind of say about like Bob's Burgers. It was like there's so many talents out there. It's like why weren't all these people already doing something and somebody figured it out? Same thing with BJ Novak. Like, yeah, put that guy in a movie.
Amaru Moses. Hey, for those of you out there wondering what we did with our week, go check us out on Amaru's show, One Gotta Stay, where it's a stacked lineup, myself and Adam, along with Kevin Smets, Craig the Barbarian,
yes,
and BJ Campbell join Amaru to pick the greatest action star of all time. I don't want to tell you how it ended,
but you could probably guess who Paul and I might be rooting for. You know, we might have a tendency to root for one particular actor
as host.
Mijo, Kurosawa-san, Hiro-san. Mijo, Kurosawa, Hiro-san.
どこ行っちゃったんだハリソン。
はい、キリンラゲル来たよ。パチパチパチ。この味がビール。切れ味醍醐味キリンラガービール。
Kirin Laga Biru.
Kirin Lagabiru to you. Amaru.
Enough trailers, unless you got one more you need to talk about, because we should get to the reviews.
Yeah, we got to get you out of here.
We were supposed to, everything must go. Reviews-a-thon, get them out. Let's get them out.
I only have one new thing to review, or no, two new things to review. Well, one old thing that I saw newly. But
I've been writing
go ahead, Paul. You're the one that's actually kept up with the new releases.
I've been writing them all down in our sort of the running order type thing, and I haven't been able to talk about them. So first I'll talk about, I did go and see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. You gave it a good talk on this
How
show.
funny is that wall scene in the actual cut
in
of
the
movie?
context?
Like, I'm like rolling in the aisle funny.
Yeah.
The acting of that thing, it's so funny. Is this director directed anything else? It's going to go places.
Sad part is I couldn't even tell you who it was.
Couldn't tell you. I've not studied up. It's not till these people do like two movies now that I'm like, oh, it's the guy that did this.
Yeah.
First movie.
But two things I just want to say about it, because you covered most of it correctly. Yeah. It's great. The first thing is I actually cared more about the story than I thought I would. I was going for the, go for the meta jokes about Cage, stay for the plot.
Right.
It was, I was rooting for
it does
Pedro
its work.
I was rooting for the relationship between he and Pedro Pascal to not be, toxic. And I was hoping for certain things to happen. And the second thing is, God, I know Cage, it was great for this movie that he does a bunch of shit movies, but I would love for him to break out of that. I know you enjoy seeing him in whatever Ghosts of the, or whatever the Ghost
Prisoners
Land,
of the Ghostland.
But wouldn't you watch him? Good. Man, is he good? Like, I'd love to see him.
Yeah.
I'm breaking up. I can see my little Wi-Fi thing going screwy.
Yeah. We got to get you a hard line.
Yeah. Well, can't plug one into a laptop, can you?
You got to get a little little connector thing.
Yeah. Anyway, but wouldn't you like to see Cage in something like Nightcrawler or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Trial of Chicago 7, see his take on Abby Hoffman? That would have been fun. I would like to see any of those things. So let's get him into prestige projects again, because he delivered in this movie really well.
That's what's so fascinating is, like, again, I watched the whole movie and then you watch the credits and you're like, I don't recognize the region all of these last names are from. Like, I'm not sure where that movie was shot. Like, it's all like very like there's sort of Eastern Bloc countries where I'm like, that's a unique way of spelling all these things that I don't know. So he is still not making movies in the United States. I don't know where Pig was made, but he made some deal overseas. I know someone took on, this is John Schnepp told me this a long time ago, with whoever took over all that debt he'd accrued, he now works for them. He now does movies in that country, or like Bulgaria or something for and so that's why he's done a lot, but boy, has he made the most of these tiny little movies done overseas. I couldn't believe this one was one of those too. I'm like, oh wait, this is not a major comeback sort of thing. This is still him working overseas in some tiny country to make this movie. But man, he gives it his all. And it will even search out certain directors. Like, I heard him go on about the Prisoners of the Ghostland director as someone that he tracked down. Hey, Ike made the poster.
All So yeah, I wanted to chime in that real quick, but just real quick, so we can get on to the next one. Boom. Let's pardon the interruption. This shit. What do you got?
Moving on.
What
else did you see, Paul?
Well, you go. What do you back and forth? What do you got?
Well, Paul,
wait a minute. I know you went to see this, right?
I went to the New Beverly. You are correct. That is what I texted you that I went to go see. But I think what I actually went to go see was this at the New Beverly.
Oh.
Right. Slightly
That's
different. Yeah. So I came back from Vegas and I've just like trying to do as little as possible. I just like had a week where I was doing nothing. And I felt bad. I was going to go see a movie that we could talk about here. And then I didn't go see a movie. And then finally I was like, screw it. I'm going to Godzilla vs. Kong. This is Sunday, 2 in the afternoon. You just can't get a better time than Sunday, 2 in the afternoon to go watch this with a crowd at the greatest movie theater of all time.
Oh, that's such a sad Kong.
It's the saddest Kong imaginable.
What happened there? I forgot about that part where he tries to be a ninja and knocks himself unconscious on a boulder.
But when we have time later, remind me to tell you the giant octopus story. There's a story from my youth about the giant octopus in this movie. A scene I had seen for years, and then for 20 years was like, what movie was that? And discovered while watching. But it's a whole story. So we'll go to the next thing. What did you see, Paul? Maybe something newer and more relevant?
Yeah, I saw The Northman.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Pretty standard revenge tale, but I'll be damned if Robert Eggers doesn't deliver movie with capital letters. It's cinematic as hell, even though it's Hamlet to the point where Alexander Skarsgård character is named Amleth. But it's full of good actors. I mean, you got Ethan Hawke in there doing great stuff, and Anya Taylor-Joy, who Eggers brought onto the scene with The Witch, being great again.
Right.
I still have trouble with Nicole Kidman's face. I've talked about that here.
Yeah.
Just watching her move her mouth, especially it's bad casting also because she looks so carved with plastic surgery. It doesn't necessarily serve the era. Yeah, she delivers a great monologue in the movie, and so it's tough to oh God, it's so good. But they're going, what?
Yeah.
Where did you get work done? At
the acting is still there.
Oslo rhinoplasty.
Well, I never need realism in a movie. I mean, I would. So you'll
love this thing because it's full of Viking imagery that's just out of nuts. You know? And
that's what I need.
I want to explain how this movie ends because if I told anybody how this movie ends, they'd want to see it, but I wouldn't want to spoil how it ends.
Right.
But it's kind of like Shang-Chi, where you always say, we're doing some cool Marvel detective stuff, and then somebody's flying a dragon.
And before you know it,
they're doing really cool Viking stuff, and suddenly, blank. It's just nuts how this movie ends.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and they honor Norse tradition and imagery, and there's weird and funny parts in it, and it is just a big old bloody mess of it. It's a good time. Nasty movie.
Oh, and Robert Eggers, man. Oh, this is I'm so excited to see that. I'm seeing that and Everything Everywhere. I've got to see Everything Everywhere. But this one I particularly
before this, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. But this one I was really waiting for. Eggers is just so exciting. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's a bloody good time, huh?
Yeah, of all the sort of young punk filmmakers who've come up, the Daniels are really good. Everything Everywhere All at Once is outstanding. But Ari Aster
before that?
Swiss Army Man.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay. Or Swiss Army Man, right.
Yeah.
But Ari Aster gets a lot of love from communities. I like Eggers better. So Eggers to me is top tier of that group of people for consistency and just what next? I mean, colonial woods witch tail, and then a
the
lighthouse.
whatever that is. There's literally no movie like that before or after.
Yeah, what story is that reflective of? Ulysses? That's not. Is it Ulysses? It's some Greek thing, and it's like, and now the damn Norse Vikings doing shit. So anyway, that I recommend it, especially for the theater. All the time might be ticking. I wrote this down a while ago that I saw it and wanted to talk about it, and still wanted to because it's really good.
I'm upset I didn't get to see The Green Knight in theaters because I wanted to be absorbed into that, and that's definitely for that one. That sort of pace is good, but this one I have to go be absorbed in the theater. There's just no way. I'll be very upset if I'm watching.
Yeah, very different, very visceral. Whereas The Green Knight was just sort of its own sort of deal. Man, The Green Knight is crazy. Yeah, but speaking of knights,
oh yeah,
VHS.
This wrapped up, and Adam, I didn't know that Moon Knight was going to be a how did I word it? A psychological drama.
Yeah,
and yet that is what we have here. So now you've finally seen it. You're our Marvel expert. What do you got?
Yeah, so I finally finished it. It finished up while I was in Vegas without streaming. So and just one day it dawned on me. I was like, there's a Moon Knight TV show and there's 2 episodes I haven't seen. Like I'd gotten so busy doing other stuff, and that's a nice revelation where you're like, there's a Moon Knight TV show and I haven't seen some of it. So I watched the last 2 episodes, which was great. Spoilers here for anybody else that. Jake Lockley makes an appearance at the end, and I know that doesn't mean anything to you as a non-Moon Knight fan, but I think when we had that little panel here, we were talking about where's Jake Lockley, who was one of the personalities in the comic book. But boy, the things Marvel is doing to show the maturer sides of comic book storytelling are taking leaps and bounds. This one right here is pure late period. Like these last, the walk through the psychiatrist hallways with the hippo, the other god, and all this sort of stuff is like, that is not the Moon Knight I read when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I read the Moon Knight that was like, pow, pow, you bad guys, with a little darker overtones than that. There were actually some very special issues that were extremely rare for the time. But when people started taking the idea of someone who actually has mental problems, who actually literally has multiple personalities, and then taking all the Egyptian stuff and folding into it, that's been the last 10 years of Moon Knight comic books. And that whole, you could just see, Grant Morrison never wrote Moon Knight, but that's sort of that modern storytelling. You can absolutely see the Grant Morrison issue that takes place entirely in the asylum, where he's wondering, did everything that in the last 15 issues, was that the dream? What is this now? And I mean, I'm like, that is where comic books go now. That's very mature comic book storytelling, and that's just amazing. Yeah, and for anybody that's like, oh, Marvel's just run out of tricks or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, another one of the Egyptian mythology, multiple personality guy at a war with himself that leads to 2 giant creatures fighting over Egypt. I'm like, yeah. That's kind of what happened in Black Widow, right? Yeah. They put it on themselves to give you a completely original experience, because it's been said since day one, all these movies are the same. Before they even made Iron Man, that was the common parlance, all these movies are the same. And you can see it because Sony hauls out the old scripts in the 90s and they make one like Morbius and you go, oh yeah, all these movies are the same. But but Moon Knight has always had that weight on its back while it's been doing these push-ups that all these movies are the same. We absolutely have to give a completely different experience every time of these movies. And people still say that because they're lazy reviewers, and instead of paying attention to the best reviewers, we just call everyone a reviewer on Twitter.
They're not paying attention. I said this about superhero movies in general. If you're not seeing the adult themes being handled expertly and by adults, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, it's a genre. You don't go, did you see that new comedy? Yeah, it's a comedy, so
I laughed.
Yeah,
I laughed. It was bad.
I mean, you know those. Yeah, I laughed. It was bad. You know those things that happen in every comedy. They're all in this movie. It's like, no, you talk about the nuances of the comedy. It's a genre. But so that was exciting.
I will see more of this. No question.
Man, it's very exciting.
You never got to see this, did you, Adam? Where did it go? Or?
No, that has been my next choice so many times, and then that stupid Godfather TV show came out, and I was about to watch X, and I was like, oh, I have to see the offer.
There's too many streaming series, man. I can't get to the offer. But is it good? Someone asked us how it was here in the chat, and we never got to respond because I don't think either of us had seen it. But the offer is good.
For us, oh my god! I mean, it's shot like a TV movie. It's but the story it's telling, oh my god, it's like one of our favorite stories ever. I'm sure you've read a lot of the story of the making of The Godfather. They could make next season and next season just go on to the making of The Exorcist, the making of Chinatown. Bob Evans is in it. Robert Evans and who's it? Ozymandias plays
Matthew Good. Yeah,
Matthew Good. Oh my god! I mean, just like the characters that actually exist in Hollywood that actually made this happen. Francis Ford Coppola. It's just like it's full of these characters that are my favorite characters in Hollywood. Exactly. So I passed up Ty West X, which I wanted to see so bad because I heard it scratch the itch that the Chainsaw Massacre, whatever that was, that Netflix Chainsaw Massacre, whatever that was. I mean, talking about a movie that I think was shot in Bulgaria or something. We got access to this town. Can you write a script around it? Sure. Got a guitar and a turtle. Can you make a movie? You bet I can.
X, there's sure a high love of 70s horror going on here and a high love of 70s porn. If you don't know, a group of filmmakers making a porn, the actress and the director and the cinematographer go out to a barn on this property that the guy he's never told them they're shooting a porn though, but then it turns out that this old couple who lives there
and ain't gonna go well by them.
They're not for it. They're not for what these young kids are doing. But what's interesting about X is that it's sad. Yeah, like the villains, the old people are sad characters.
Okay,
like they're not just straight villainous. Like, I mean,
sure.
it's bloody and
the kids probably mess with them or something, do some slasher kid shit, right? Like somebody should kill these kids.
Yeah, and it works both as horror and as porn because the sex scenes in this are something.
Well, it's about time some movie had a sex scene. They don't have those in movies anymore.
Yeah,
when's the last sex scene in a movie?
Yeah, well, watch this.
Yeah,
you'll get your fill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new angle about the murderers in a horror movie, so I found that fresh. Okay. And overall, the movie's very energetic and funny, and and there's an unexpected post-credits scene. You wouldn't think in a horror movie there would be a post-credits scene, but there is, and it's very bizarre and continues with sort of weird sense of humor that the movie has. And Kid Cudi is in it, the rapper.
Okay,
and he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always look at a rapper like, is this guy going to be any good? I thought he was very good in the movie.
Right, that's always a question. Some of them they put in one appearance and that's it, and then others become legacy, like Ice Cube. Like, I mean, at the time, I was like, oh, they put Ice Cube in a movie. That's interesting. I mean, that'll be a one-off, and then he's got a whole career.
And then Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, and Brittany Snow are your lineup of beautiful women. So if you want that, that's also waiting for you as well.
Okay.
There you go.
I like that. Sure.
I see your point.
What else have you seen? Anything, Adam?
I saw Chip and Dale because I was like, I haven't seen enough new movies, so I woke up this morning and watched Chip and Dale.
Oh, that's right. I had that here.
Did you watch Chip and Dale?
I did not, man. I really want to, though. Yeah. I went to Vegas over the weekend. You came back and I went there. So.
Nice. I made space for you there. That's good.
Yeah.
You got to keep that distance. Chip and Dale, I'm kind of oddly fascinated by now because it's the airplane of animated movies brought to real life. Like it's like they don't just do what you would expect them to do in, I don't know, Garfield or Tom and Jerry. I now have to kind of watch Tom and Jerry because what's so fascinating is like Chip and Dale had a thing. They were the Rescue Rangers. One of them dressed like Indiana Jones. One of them dressed like Magnum P.I. They went off and had all these adventures. I know what Chip and Dale, which, prior to that, Chip and Dale did have they were just villains to Donald Duck. But they really had no personality whatsoever until Rescue Rangers. So at least there's something to adapt in Rescue Rangers. And they don't do that. Because you could just go, well, let's just make a Indiana Jones story with Chip and Dale. And, we'll make them CGI. Instead, they ended up, and I don't know how this movie gets greenlit. I don't know how it got made. I'm so fascinated by it because it's the airplane of adapted Saturday morning or adapted cartoon characters brought to real life. Sonic is in it. Do you know the Sonic joke? I mean, it's in fairly early in it, but you know how Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, so they're at a convention, so they've split up, right?
Right.
So Chip or Dale, one of the other.
Dale has gotten CGI surgery.
Right, he got CGI surgery, which is a really, really, really funny joke because some of these characters go to an animated movie and some of them have to become Alvin and the Chipmunks. They have to become updated. And I mean, and if you think that the Lonely Island guys are going to forget the joke about how they have to rap now and all this sort of stuff, you know, and so Chip has moved on to a life of insurance. Dale is going to the conventions, and at the conventions are all the other characters like Tigra from the Avengers United We Stand. You know,
I remember Lumiere being there.
Lumiere is there. You know, so setting up that whole sort of Roger Rabbit idea that these guys have real lives, that they go and they do the movies because they're animated characters. Animated characters walk around everyday life in the backgrounds of every other scene. That's just really nicely understated. But the overstated, like airplane type jokes, the Sonic with the ugly teeth, because the first Sonic trailer had human teeth and everyone thought it was horrifying. And so I can't remember what they call him in this, Ugly Sonic or something like Original Teeth Sonic or something. I mean, it's just like a really recent joke. But of course, they're making fun of things that were animated turned into movies. And it's just like, didn't even realize. I'm like, well, I guess it's high time for this. They've been doing this since, you know, what, Underdog or maybe Chip and Dale were first. Were they 2000s or whatever? Or Garfield was like 2004 or something, you know?
I mean, Roger Rabbit was 88, so.
Roger Rabbit, but I mean, in the modern thing of taking a beloved animated figure,
gotcha,
bringing him into real life, Space Jam, you know, this sort of thing, to do the airplane spoof of that and somehow let Disney okay it?
Marmaduke, yeah.
Right, and Disney okayed this, and it doesn't actually ruin any future continuity if they bring him back as the Rescue Rangers, and so I'm like totally fascinated by that. Like now I have to go watch Tom and Jerry and Garfield and go, what are these? Like that, you know, because this was really just packed with jokes. I mean, because they're in the world where there's been all these other, and the big threat is that one of their friends gets kidnapped. This happens early enough in the movie, it's not a spoiler either, gets kidnapped, and they fear that Disney licensed characters who've been cartoon characters who've been kidnapped, they get taken to some island or something and turned into bad foreign release not parodies, but like ripoffs, you know? So instead of Dumbo, it's like, it's Stupid Elephant Who Flies or something like with like a bad anime looking or whatever. And they're afraid they're going to, you know, he's going to have surgery and they're going to turn him into something and then put him into the foreign market, you know, the bootleg market. So like all that really relevant, like interesting stuff. They made fun of Zack Snyder. I forget which joke that was, but but it's packed with jokes. It's the airplane of adaptations of cartoons. I'm fascinated. It was really, really good. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have John Mulaney and Andy Samberg.
Yeah, I was gonna say Adam sold me, but Popstar sold me. I'll watch anything that the Lonely Island does after that.
You will never forget it's the guys that made Popstar too, because it's just got that like rhythm of like joke. Let's get it out there. Let's go. You know, it's really good.
VHS.
Let's see. Oh,
Paul, did you see anything else?
Batman vs. E.T. was a Snyder joke.
Batman vs. E.T. Right. Yes, exactly. So there's like all these random movies that are advertised just in every corner of this thing. Seth Rogen's there in a land called the Uncanny Valley, which means like the old sort of like video games where it's like weird. The eyes are real weird. So he's like animated like a video game from like the, I don't know, like early 2000s or something, like really kind of like but it's the Uncanny Valley is where they go for that. It's just, there's a ton of jokes. Really good. I loved it.
Cool. Well, I'll do one more, then I probably got to hit the bricks.
Right.
But I'll talk about Michael Bay's Ambulance, because nobody is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame that he went the way of like the latest Fantastic Beasts Harry Potter movie and kind of just came and went with no real fuss.
And this is him kind of stripped down, just basically a simple premise, right? It's just a chase, isn't it?
It's a heist movie. Yeah. That's it. Simple premise setup with you know, you got your family's in a bad way, you're desperate, I got this heist, you know. Of course, the Abdul Mateen character there on the left. He realizes halfway in that this isn't what I signed up for, type of thing. Gyllenhaal's got this evil master plan, but somebody has introduced Michael Bay to the drone.
Okay,
because
he should have been introduced.
There's so many shots of sweeping camera that mean nothing. It's like you'll see cars racing, and then just a shot of like the skyline goes, and then the cars are racing again. It's like, well, why did we cut away to that? Like, he gets in his own way so often. He's so annoying, but this is one of the more palatable films he's made in a while. Like you said, even by just saying it's like a heist movie, right? Yeah,
simple premise.
Pretty simple premise, full of decent actors. Mateen's good. Gyllenhaal's awesome. Isa Gonzalez is impossibly beautiful for an EMT worker aboard an ambulance, but she's good. And other than that, it's just Action City. It's kind of hilarious because they go all over downtown. I have this movie locations tour now, and I could do just this movie in downtown LA.
You could track their route.
But there's no way going the speed they did, as fast as they did, they would still be in downtown LA. But they must have just done a bunch of circles, and so they go everywhere. But as heist
90 minutes into the movie, they're in Antelope Valley. You're like, well, they've been driving that long.
It's not exciting there anymore. Yeah. We still want them to be near skyscrapers.
Yeah.
So dopey camera work, one-liners, but again, it's Action City. The suspense works in the end. There's some cringe-worthy, gross-out scenes aboard the ambulance that they need to do some emergency surgery on somebody.
Because someone's in the ambulance, right? That's also the time frame thing of this. It's like an episode of Emergency, right?
Yeah. It's interesting who's in there. It ties into the story, and it's pretty cool. So,
all right.
I mean,
I was thinking of Collateral, like a tour downtown.
Yeah, it was a little long.
Oh, is it? I expected this to be an 89-minute slam bang.
No, it's over 2 hours.
Okay.
But it was again, he's just become this genre. We have to go for Michael Bay. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I don't love him. Yeah, but.
Yeah, I was intrigued about this because we talked about Adam Rifkin a few weeks ago, and still got to have him on the show. But The Chase, when I finally watched The Chase, which I think probably should have been the first Adam Rifkin movie I saw, but because that was one that had Charlie Sheen, and it was major. That was when I worked in the video store. It was like The Chase was out there, but somehow we came in from the back door with capturing the Warwicks, or what was it? Shooting the Warwicks, and
capturing the Freedmans, shooting the Warwicks.
Shooting the Warwicks, a parody of that. But so I came in and I finally watched The Chase, and I was like, and once again, I just love him. He's the best. But it's a short setup, and the rest of that movie is a chase. And I was like, oh, of course it's called The Chase. It's so perfect. But this reminded me of that in spirit, I thought,
Yeah, kind of. I mean, once the heist gets going, man, it's off to the races, And just if you want a shot of police cars driving down the road, you start at the top of a building and you point at the sky, spin around, come down, and then you zip behind them. I mean, literally just someone just said, wouldn't it be cool if we had a drone? It would be cool. Yeah. That's Bay.
Hey, I don't see enough stuff done with drones. I'm always curious why foot chases aren't shot with drones. That would be exhilarating. But, so if he does more with drones than just like Skyline shot, The Fugitive or, Collateral, then...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember... Barry Sonnenfeld shot Raising Arizona. I don't know how the hell they did some of the shots in that movie, flying over cars and stuff. Pre drones, but
I think that's the Sam Raimi cam is the camera with the 2x4s. I think that's how they go over.
Oh, gotcha.
In Raising Arizona, so it's the fact that Sam Raimi and the Coen brothers had a lot of influence on each other because they were roommates.
Yeah, and zipping through that cabin like they did in Evil Dead. That's probably just a steady cam, but everything they did back then, I wonder how they did it. Now I don't. Sadly, I don't mess with drone.
I know. I know. All that curiosity is kind of gone away. But they still, but they still wow. I mean, watching Chip and Dale, I'll just say I'm pretty sure a lot of the real backdrops in that, because it was all set in the real world, are also CG, but you just don't notice it. So I think that was like almost like 90% CG movie, even though most of it takes place like out in the real, they go to a factory and you go, did they shoot in a factory? And then you go, I don't think that's a factory. I think that's a CG factory. It looks so real and you don't really, you're paying attention to all the foreground stuff. I think that was an interesting thing about that. At one point they go into a garage with this like whole collection of Chip and Dale stuff or whatever. And it's meant to be in the real world, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is all CG. Actually, that one looks more CG than others, but yeah. But
I don't know if Raimi went to NYU or not, but there is certainly a school of visual style that came out of there between Oliver Stone, the Coens, and Spike Lee. That I wouldn't be surprised. So
yeah, I don't think Sam Raimi went to film school. I think he just.
That'd be great. I hope he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
It'd be cool if he just I'm doing this and did it.
Yeah, he kept his neighborhood friends together and all made a movie, which is crazy.
All right, I got to scram. So
get out of here, man.
Chuck, do you have any final thoughts?
I do not. I guess my only final thought might be.
Tom Cruise! Oh no! You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Show me the money.
Tom Cruise week. Here we go. So let's go see Top Gun Maverick, and we will. And then next week we'll talk about what we saw 24 years ago. And we'll.
I keep correcting you as 25. I don't want it. I don't want it to have been either.
Yeah,
I don't want it to have been either, but it is.
Yeah, it feels longer ago, dude. Like you and I meeting and then going, hey, let's go see The Lost World. It feels like 50 years ago.
Feels like we were 10. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, that feels. The fact that that's only 24 is like, oh, okay. Yeah. I guess I packed a lot in that time. I've done a bunch of shit.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll have that to talk about next week. Top Gun Maverick, man. And then the summer is here. And thanks to Steve Schultz. And follow us at The Movie Guys everywhere. And themovieguys.net. And thanks. The comedy show fundraiser was awesome. I appreciate you watching that on YouTube. Live. We had, it must have had about 50 people or more and raised over $1,000. And Adam was no slouch. And I meant to ask you because Adam gave a big donation, and I wanted to ask. He said, "I want a gambling. What's your game?"
Oh, blackjack. Only blackjack. Yeah.
You have a system?
Although, no. The system is when to leave the table.
Right.
The system is don't get too comfortable just yet. I think is my system, and always bet the minimum. I can't wait if I add $5 to the minimum for that table, I lose that one. Almost every time. Unless I get real hot, and then I'll go, all right, I'll double it.
Yeah, but they're counting on that.
Yeah. What, the minimum? Oh, yeah.
They're counting on you doubling it up. Yeah.
Right. Well, here's a great story, though. I've done this twice now in my life. My lucky number is 19. I was born December 19th, 1972. So the number 19 is twice in my birth date. So I said, that's my lucky number.
Did you do roulette?
I did roulette first.
Okay.
And this is the funniest roulette. I've done this twice with roulette, which is walk up, put one chip on 19, and when it hits, I walk away. And I did it here in Vegas. I went, I put $5 on 19, which hits at 35-1, and then it hit, and I grabbed that stack and walked away. Yep. I walked over to blackjack, and I sat down, and I doubled that. So
my buddy Fitz did that once. He says, it's all about confidence. I'm like, what are you talking about? Come here. He takes 5 20s, he throws it on the ground, plays one hand at blackjack, doubles his money, we walk away, we go eat. I'm like, wow. He's like, yeah, it's about confidence. I'm like, Jesus. That was amazing.
I love it.
I went with my friend Corrado. You know Corrado. We went out to the tables once.
Santa Claus from our old Christmas specials.
That's true. And
drunk Santa Claus.
And we started looking around at the different roulette tables, and they had all hit red 19 at one point. Like, that is a frequently hit number, according to his theory. And sure enough, when I go and play, if you're there long enough, it's going to hit. It's crazy, but I see it hit all the time. There's no rhyme or reason to it except I see it, So,
but that's twice in my life. I've walked up the roulette table, put one chip down, hit 19, and walked away.
Yeah, you're bound to hit it. It's crazy.
That's amazing. But so I gave $100 to Karen there. That's Vegas money.
That. Yeah, so now that's gonna be great, and you can go to just search the Karen Volpe Preston Legacy Fund Scholarship Fundraiser long titled comedy show, and it'll come right up. It's at the Karen Volpe Comedy and Music Hour Facebook page, and at my personal YouTube page, which just has a bunch of whatever on it. I don't really curate it. Just if I got nowhere else to put something, it goes over there. Yeah. You can search Paul Preston, I guess, and probably find it.
And the most fun thing of that was watching, because, you're always, for these sort of things, and back when Karen did her show, it was a lot of the people that would play those shows. It's a variety show. A lot of comedians come, Michael Gelbart, Jimmy Palumbi. But the new face to this one was Mark Ellis. Because Mark Ellis had... it's the usual crowd, a lot of which did not know Mark Ellis. And that was so fun to watch half that crowd at least experience Mark Ellis for the first time. Because, Mark is just so polished. He's just so there. And yet he's like very, he can move around and he can play around and stuff like that. Everyone was just like blown away by Mark Ellis. That was really fun to watch. A lot of those people experience Mark Ellis for the first time. Brought the house down. It was great.
Yeah. I had been to see Mark at the Flappers in Burbank and saw him just lay waste to the place. So I said, he's going to close. I got a number of my friends there could close, but he's going to close that show, and he did a great job. So
it was really, really great to watch all those people experience him for the first time.
And there was a good contingent of Schmodown people. I know a lot of people watching this are Schmodown fans, but Craig showed up, and Chandru, and Brandon Hanna, and I'm forgetting somebody.
It's great to see them.
And Kate Mulligan was going to perform, but someone in her family got COVID, so she stayed away, which is the new normal, I guess. So, but it was great to have that support, and send out
David B. David B. was there too.
Oh, and David B. showed up. That's right. And congrats to David B. I guess he just wrote a theme for a podcast by. Pretty sure I can say it. I don't know. He told us. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. He wouldn't let us play. But anyway, just book some big gigs, writing a theme for a new podcast.
That's cool.
All right, that's it. We got to go. That's it. I got to. What do you say after that's it? I got to go.
Kieran Lagabiru.
Kieran Lagabiru, Adam.